Our cash is going to be Moonglade Apollo. Gentlemen, take it. Just take it.
Not away?
Nope.
Just take it.
Just take it.
Thank you, in control. We are ready. We can jump into game number 1 here between Jaedong and San. One of these players will be eliminated here, and we're narrowing ourselves down to just 8 players after this game. After a intense couple of days of action, Moonglade, 20 players yesterday, only 9 remain. Let's find out who's going to be the next eliminated. Is up here to the top of Catalina as the red Protoss player playing for Yowie Flash Wolves. It's San. And he's had quite a successful year himself. He's also, like Jaedong, had 4 top 4 finishes. Of course, one of those was the reason that he's here at Dreamhack Winter today. Dreamhack Summer, top 4, losing out to Liquid here on the way to the finals. And over here to the left-hand side, a player we are all very, very familiar with as the blue Zerg player playing for Team Evil Geniuses. It's, of course, Jaedong. Multiple Dreamhack appearances. He's been quoted that Dreamhack is his favorite tournament to attend and he wants to win it.
Wow, that's nice.
He hasn't yet, though.
Not yet. Maybe in the future here. Maybe today. Maybe tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow's
Not
more
today.
likely than today, Moonglade.
It'd be a bit weird, actually, if it was today. But straight off the bat, we're seeing Jaedong go for a bit of a greedy build here, going hatch first.
Yep.
I like it. I like it a lot. We'll see if he's going to go for that second hatch before pool, or will he play a little bit safer? Nope. One thing to note already on this map is the 3 o'clock to the 12 o'clock position. It is kind of unfavorable for Jaedong because he has to put that third base in the middle instead of to the side there, because the side one will be closer to the Protoss and will make for a better timing attack if San so wished so.
What are some of the more popular playstyles we could see coming out from Jaedong here? Do you think it's more of a Zergling heavy, Zergling Roach heavy, Hydralist timing, Mutalisk type of map,
I kind of
Swarmhost style?
I kind of like Hydras on this map, considering there's a lot of chokes, a lot of tricky sort of situations that force fields kind of just dominate a lot more. So going for Ling Roach is a little less likely. You can still go for Ling timings. We did see Jaedong go for some really nice Ling timings yesterday to cancel third bases, third Nexi, and, you know, we'll have to wait and see exactly how Jaedong wants to play this, because he wants to go for, I'm sure he will eventually go for a Muta switch at some point, whether it be this game or the next game. He does it a lot. And already, we're seeing Zealots go out on the map here, going to be harassing that third base, trying to do some damage, and a Mothership core on the way as well. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly how aggressive San is going to be now that he knows how greedy Jaedong has been.
Well, San's very well known for his aggressive playstyle, right? His very heavy Zealot, the San Gate, the 4 gateway Zealot type of style. That's got to be at the front of Jaedong's mind.
Yeah, it definitely has to be. And you know what? Jaedong has gotten away with this 3 hatch, and he can be ready for just about anything that San is going to throw at him. It's just up to Jaedong to find out what is it going to be. And as I say that, we do have an Overlord creeping into San's main base here, kind of on the edge here, getting in position to kind of come in and have a look at exactly what he's got planned.
If it moves. If it moves.
I mean, he can wait a little bit longer, maybe wait 1 more minute before he wants to jump in there, give it a big suicide.
But Mothership Core and Zealot just poking around this third base location. We've already seen 3 gateways coming down with Chrono Boost into the Cybernetics Core here, Moonglade.
It's going to be very, very quickly here, and a pylon is in position.
And Jaedong still has not spotted this. His Zerglings are going to go to the front ramp here, and they are going to see a little bit, but this is going to get a little bit dicey, as they say over in WCS America, because this is going to be a bit more intense than we first appreciated as well, because there's another gateway on top of that as well.
Yep, that's a 5 gate of 2 base here. Oh, the Zergling scouts the pylon though. Jaedong knows what's up, but all he has is Zerglings to kind of defend at this point.
Well, he doesn't really have that much supply available either. At this point, I mean, he's just popped out an Overlord, so it's actually not too bad, but he's got to be building units. He's added on 3 drones here. He's got to take this serious.
He has to take this seriously. He's going to see a big warp into Zealots at this pylon here. He doesn't have enough Zerglings. He's going to kill 1 Zealot and going to have to get out of there or trade all his links. 14 more on the way, but finally the Roach Warren starts. Is it too late, Apollo?
I think it might be here. That Roach Warren is going to be crucial in finishing here. The amount of Zerglings that were being built, I don't think it really matters how many you do build, because if he just sits back, keeps on adding on Zealots, eventually they'll win out against infinite Zerglings here, so...
Yeah, especially when you have force fields to help out. He wants to get a good position there. I mean, there is 3 hatchery already. He went for that very, very greedy build. He has great production. So it's going to be up to San how much he wants to commit to this.
Well, Jaedong has his eyes on the Zealots. He has a quick look and sees how many there are. Even more on the way. The Roach Warren's about to finish up here. He's going to have to start adding some on directly from that third base. He's also buying time right now. The roaches have to be added on here. There are 7 of them. 9 of them. That is more than enough to deal with this, but they're not on the way yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, at this point, San can commit to just kill the hatchery and recall out, make Stalkers at home. It's entirely up to Jaedong to make the time for these roaches to get out. And they're well on their way. They're going to start popping any second here, but finally committing to that hatchery, now committing to the roaches because he was right on top of them. Nice time warp as well.
And no drones have gone down, almost none. I think maybe just 1 or 2 at this point. And absolutely, well, I mean, good defense from the drones, but the Zealots are chewing through these roaches there.
Yeah, he really had to get the roaches out of there. Really, really unlucky position coming out like that. But still, Speedling's on the way as well, getting rid of the Stalker and the sentries.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of those drones. They actually lost all of them, so not too good there, but he's trying to pump out more units, but more Zealots are being walked in here, and he's starting to lose control of this third base, and this is not good, Moonglade. He cannot lose this third.
No, he cannot. He absolutely has to keep it alive, or he will lose the game, essentially, because he'll just be on equal economy, which you never want to be against Protoss. So many Zealots still remain, and only 2 roaches fighting them off.
Uh-oh.
And now with the added Stalkers, it's going to be even better against the roaches, and I think San is in complete control, and from here, he can start to transition if he wants to.
Yeah, and he's still got that Mothership core to recall out here, taking a bit of damage from these queens, but Jaedong trying to mount this defense, but San in his own standard way of playing this matchup is making it work here. He's taking down roaches left and right from that third hatchery. Jaedong starting to mount a defense, but at any point, he can turn around, snipe the hatch, and recall out here. Well, I suppose he could have recalled out, but he's used a time warp.
Yeah.
But still, picking off that third going to be important. He cannot lose all his units here and let that hatchery survive.
Yeah, he's really got to make it happen here. But Jaedong kind of fighting back here. He's got a good roach count. That's only 4 Stalkers here. He can't fight against this. He can kite the Zealots until they're all gone. 6 roaches, 7 roaches now with the Queen. And I think San will probably want to commit to that hatchery sometime soon, but he doesn't want to fight the Broodlings as well. Only when he's finished trading with the roaches does he really want to do it.
More damage onto that hatchery, only 130 hit points. Jaedong must keep that hatchery alive here. He cannot play from a 2-base situation. He pushes San back again, but another round of units here. It's so close, so incredibly back and forth. Another Queen pops out to help here.
Oh, they're kind of getting whittled down at this point. Both Queens go down.
Yeah, Jaedong's starting to lose his fight here, Moonglade.
It's not looking good. Only 3 roaches and a few Zerglings left, and it means San is kind of just baiting the army to defend against his hatchery. And finally gets rid of it, so Jaedong down to 2 bases here, but I'm sure San wants to kind of finish this off.
Yeah, it seems maybe just continue to warp in units here. At this point, he can really do anything he wants. He can continue to warp in. He doesn't have to. He could go back and try to build up and play the game out longer, but another round of units comes in, and San chases the last of these units home. Jaedong pushed back to 2 bases. He is behind in supply, and the Yowie Flash Wolves player here, dominant from the get-go in this best-of-5 series.
Very, very aggressive, and a great read from San and great follow-up there. He knew how greedy Jaedong was being. He was kind of lucky that the fact that Jaedong did not make a Roach Warren anytime soon, even when he saw the probe in the pylon. And now San has simply too many Stalkers here for the roaches to kite the Zealots and be cost-efficient. GG!
San takes map number 1 in this best-of-5. A long way to go still, though, in this best-of-5.
Very long way to go, but a great start there for San.
Always good.
Kind of expected because he is super aggressive. As we said earlier, you know, he does love to be all in many times against Zerg, and he has very, very powerful all-ins as well. And it's kind of an old-school style to go for that 5-gate all-in. You don't really see it that often these days, but you know, it still works. It still can do work.
Well, Moonglades, you're a former professional gamer, former
I
professional
like to think I'm still pretty good, all right?
You are pretty good. You didn't let me finish my sentence, so I was actually going to hype on the fact that you're still top 200 in Korea on the Grandmaster server. What would have you done better? What should have Jaedong done better to deal with this?
Well, he needed that faster Roach Warren. He needed to identify that it was going to be a complete all-in from San as well. With 5 gates, if you see 5 gates with an Overlord, you're like, okay, I have to make roaches, I have to stop drones, and maybe even give up that 3rd base because, you know, when you're on 5-gate like that, it's going to be very, very hard to transition into a more normal game, into Immortals or anything else. So I think Jaedong had to really identify what he was up against and just make more units earlier.
Do you think that Jaedong takes a very similar approach to how he opened that first game into the next map here? It's going to be Nimbus. Does he want to try open 3-hatch and play a similar playstyle, but tighten the knots a little bit on his earlier defense?
I think so. That would be a great idea. I mean, it's going to be up to San if San wants to kind of change things up now that he knows Jaedong is capable of this, the 2-hatch before pull sort of style. Nimbus is such a big map, though. He can get away with it being greedy like that, because I'm sure San might go for that same sort of greed, go for that Nexus first into a bit of a delayed tech, etc.
Well, Jaedong could be shut out quite easily here as he hunts and searches for another attempt at a Dreamhack final here. He hasn't reached one this year. He reached multiple last year. Very different year, of course. But San, on the other side of the things, hasn't really played at that many Dreamhacks this year. He's been traveling all over the world. Yeah. Of course, played actively in WCS Europe, made it to BlizzCon, so was top 16 in the world in the WCS rankings. Has been a very active player and a very successful player as well. Very rarely do we actually see San be eliminated in the round of 16 type of area. He's always a top 8 type of player.
Yeah.
And he's displaying that already here with just a simple maneuver here, simple strategy.
Yeah, he's looking great. Absolutely. I love his aggression so far. And Jaedong, it really just comes down to Jaedong being ready for it, being able to identify. He has to really commit a lot to scouting this, I think. And Nimbus is going to be pretty hard because it is such a big map. It's hard to get Overlords in position to find out exactly what's going on. We've seen Zergs go for Overlord speed first. You know, we've seen sort of commitments like that, which can help out a lot. You really have to identify what Protoss are going to do. And someone as aggressive as San, it's even more important.
Is there an aggressive play that Jaedong can make himself in this game? Is there any aggressive strategies that he could play out here? Or do you think it's going to be like defending into eventually Swarm Host, longer type game?
Well, I think Jaedong doesn't really particularly like Swarm Host. He doesn't seem to do very well with him. I wouldn't be surprised if he would go for that more of a Mutalisk style eventually. But I mean, yesterday we did see him go for a great Ling timing with +1 attack onto a third base that just wasn't there, which kind of ended in a wonky game. But I know Jaedong seems to have a lot of styles there that's going to try and put him ahead, trying to cancel the third base. But he has to identify exactly what San is going to go, because San could very well just be going for a 2 base again.
All right, well, we are loaded into map number 2 now. Jaedong versus San here at the Dreamhack Open Finals at Dreamhack Winter for 2014. Loaded into map number 1. Let's jump right in here, Moonglade, and get the activity started.
Let's do it, mate.
All right, so Nimbus is the second map here of this best of 5. And up here to the top left-hand side is the red Protoss player playing for Yowie Flash Wolves. It's San. Here, it's another Dreamhack. Top 4 Dreamhack Summer earlier on this year. See if he can repeat that success at this event. Of course, the finals of the Dreamhack Open for 2014. And up here to the top right-hand side of this map, playing for Team Evil Geniuses, it's Jaedong.
Down a game already. Quite the all-in on the first game. Jaedong might be a little shaken, might want to play a little bit more defensively with an early pull. We'll have to wait and see what build he has planned.
Yeah, it's a must-win map here for Jaedong, really. Against any type of player at this level, you cannot be going down 0-2. No. You know, especially against San, who can pull out an instant win, a 5-minute win against you, as we saw previously. A must-win map here for Jaedong, but on the other side of things, of course, San, if he's able to pick this one up, he is just jet-setting towards playing Tager in the next round.
He is indeed, and you know, this map, great map for Mutalisk. I kind of like the positions for Jaedong. He's kind of, his main base is close to the pocket natural of San, so if he can get to that Mutatech switch, he might desire to go. He can do a lot of damage with it, but I'm sure San is going to be more than ready. San seems to be a very smart player, and he seems to like to apply the aggression, so it's going to really come down to how the game plays out.
So let's talk a little bit while this game shapes up about the differences between every other Zerg player and Life. Why is Life the player that he is, and how is he able to 3-0 San and 2-0 him yesterday, and 2-0 Tasia? What makes him so different from all the other Zergs that are struggling recently, as we've seen so many being eliminated already this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, Life has his own style. He likes to be the super aggressor against Protoss. He likes to put them on the back foot very early. He's by far the most aggressive Zerg, no doubt about that. With proxy hatches, early lings, like, he'll find a way to kind of throw the Protoss's build order off.
Right.
And from there, I mean, his counterattacks, he knows how to buy time, he knows how to apply damage where needed. Jaedong is just, sorry, Life is just, he's so smart at the matchup. It's really something else, because no other Zerg can really match what he does, which is why he's the world champion.
He is the world champion. Jaedong's found out where his opponent is here. He has an Overlord in perfect position. Zergling's on the way to the other side of the map as well. And upon seeing this Zealot, he knows also this has, of course, been a gateway expansion and can adapt accordingly here. Third hatchery has come down for Jaedong. He's going to have a quick look inside that main base, hopefully, with this Zergling, and see what his opponent's up to here. But in these positions, is this something that could threaten Jaedong, of course?
Well, it is a direct sort of path to the third base of Jaedong, down at the bottom of the ramp there. It can be open to timings, because you can go kind of down a hallway up there, make it very cost-efficient fights with good force fields. can definitely be a thing that San might want to use here. He's going to move out in the map and kind of discover everything that's going on.
What do you think about the hatchery that Jaedong's placed outside more so than inside his base here? You know, he expanded out rather than inwards.
I like that because you're always going to want to go 3 base against Protoss generally if you can. And I mean, the creep spreads more quickly if you put that first hatch down there instead of in the pocket natural. So it makes a lot of sense, and I like it a lot that Jaedong did that. And you want to kind of set up there. You want to make sure you can hold it. You want to make sure you know exactly what's going on. And you did see a probe and a Zealot here.
Oh, Moonglades, he's seen that. And we are at the back of San's base here, seeing the additional gateways coming in.
We're seeing the exact same thing, Apollo. The exact same all-in.
But there's no gas been taken by Jaedong. He's only on Queens and on Zerglings. He's going to be able to hold this type of attack.
I'm not sure, man. He's going to have to make a lot of links to deal with this time. He's going to have to completely overwhelm the army with slow links.
Does he even know this is exactly the build that San's using? This could be just a bit of pressure, faking out. There's a spine crawler coming in and added on drones here. Is Jaedong taking this seriously? Does he really know what he's playing against?
I don't think so. I mean, he's making some extra queens here, but those 2 drones really scares me at this point.
But look how smart San's been here. He's warped in a Zealot and a Sentry on the other side of the map, and surely as a Zerg player, when you see a Sentry on the other side of the map here, you're like, well, I don't think he's really doing too much here.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's still adding on drones.
He is still adding on drones, but I mean, I like this 4 queens and a spine crawler at the bottom of the ramp. I actually really like that a lot. He will have enough to kind of defend what's outside his third base at the moment. But we're going to have to wait and see how much San is actually going to commit here. He is warping in more and more Zealots with these 2 sentries.
Yep.
Obviously, the sentries want to kind of force fill that ramp, stop anything coming from the 2 bases in the main.
Well, 2 more queens have been added on, and Jaedong just saw that more units were being made there with the Zerglings that were attacking the Zealots. So he's added on 12 additional Zerglings here. He's going to have to try to make this defense. He couldn't make it in the previous game. Can he do it this time? There's a lot of queens. Push back the Mothership Core immediately here. Second spine crawl is about to finish up. Only slow Zerglings and queens. Adding on drones throughout this, but more and more Zealots and Sentries are being added on here. Queens do have a lot of energy. Jaedong coming around the back with his Zerglings to try to pick off that back pylon, but that does leave his hatchery exposed.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. I mean, he does have a lot of queens, so he can transfuse, but great force fields here. Zoning out 4 queens here, and he will be able to take them down very, very easily.
Very easily. Spine's doing a lot of damage over the force fields here, but Zergling's filtering through, not really doing too much damage, but San backs off here. Goes for another warp in the unit. Spine crawlers repositioning. A lot of Zealots here. 14 Zealots in total. Great force field, trap the queen.
Perfect force field there. Very, very awkward for the queen, and doesn't really want to fight in this funnel, does Jaedong. I mean, every Zergling is going down here. We did see the spine crawler as well, and there's simply not enough. And we can see a force field on the ramp in a second as well.
Drone's being pulled off here, and Jaedong is in so much trouble. 16 additional Zerglings coming in, additional queens as well. And San, staying true to his own style, staying true to his strategy, is making this game look easy.
He's just warping in Zealots and Sentries and winning these games over someone like Jaedong. It actually doesn't make sense.
He's making this game just look ridiculously easy here, and Jaedong's going to lose his third again. He's down 20 supply. And again, just like the previous one, the same strategy works twice in a row, and San takes a swift 2-0 on a must-win map there for Jaedong, as now he has to win 3 games in a row to turn this one around.
And I mean, the next 3 maps are going to kind of be good for Jaedong. We got Merry-Go-Round, Overgrowth, and King Sejong, so not the worst maps for Jaedong to come back on, but I mean, I think he's going to have to start making roaches a little earlier, Apollo, because you shouldn't be kind of losing to a 5-gate like that. It just shouldn't happen. No one wants to die like that. No one.
Well, we'll find out, because this is a train wreck right now. As we saw in the previous game as well, Tasia versus Hero, very similar, just very swift 3-0 easy victories. And right now, Jaedong's just getting rolled in. This is not quite the level that a lot of his fans are expecting to see here today against San.
People are getting the chop today.
They are. They absolutely are here, Moonglade. But something must drastically change here. Otherwise, this is just going to be an easy 3-0.
An easy 3-0. And I'm sure we're going to see more aggression from San on a map like Merry-Go-Round, because it is a very open map. It is hard to get 3 base for Protoss on that map.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's going to come down to scouting. Is Jaedong going to go for that 3 base again? And are we just going to see a 5-gate reaction from San?
I mean, let's talk a little bit about the defense of Jaedong. In the first game, we can say that was more of a standard defense, just a bit slower than usual, right? You should be having the roaches popping out around the time this attacks to defend it.
Yeah.
So that's just slow. But the second game, he took a completely different approach to the defense here.
I liked it too.
Didn't take gases, queen heavy, spine heavy. is that a style that can actually work? Was it just the way that he defended? Was it the queens that got trapped with the force
he
fields?
defended, yeah. It was very awkward position because he brought all his lings to that pylon around the back as San went into the base. And then he got 4 queens for free. He killed the second spine crawler, and yeah, Zerglings had to fight in a funnel. So it all just went wrong for Jaedong.
If we could, I mean, the function in StarCraft, of course, to resume from replay, if we were to do that, and Jaedong had another opportunity where he didn't send his Zerglings to that pylon and set up in a more defensive posture and retook the engagement, would it be a different game, you think?
Perhaps. Not guaranteed. It really came down to positioning more than anything else. And I mean, Jaedong just really had to identify that San was just warping in Zealots and Sentries for 5 gates for the whole time. He just had to see that and be like, okay, you're actually crazy all in with this. I just need to make spines and Zerglings and sit there with as many queens as I can make and just transfuse. It should have happened like that. So it was just a silly mistake from Jaedong to move around the map with all those Zerglings.
It's funny because StarCraft is such a deep strategical game, yet we're not getting past the first 5 moves in these matches right now.
These matches have been ending
It's like checkmate in 5 moves here,
Yeah, man. All the games I've casted today just end instantly. It's just these crazy all-in games that are kind of disappointing, but well, it's up to Jaedong to kind of identify what he's doing wrong and just react to it properly. Yeah,
I mean, usually you see a lot of Zerg players scouting, defending, and the game moves on, but we're not really getting past that stage. And hopefully that can change coming into this next game, because we are loading into merry-go-round. Hopefully see either a better defense, a completely different opening from San that we don't even see that type of attack, but the way it's going, it's like he could just do it anyway and pick up a 3-0.
It seems that way, doesn't it? It actually seems that way. Well, the game is loaded now, so we're going to have to wait and see how Jaedong is going to play this game. It could very well be his last game of the tournament.
There's San looking to move on here. 2 easy games. Will he be able to get that third now? This man on screen needs to make a change. We're loaded into the next map. Merry-go-round. Let's jump right into this one here, Moonglade. Very excited to see if Jaedong can do something. Otherwise, we will be moving on to the next round straight away. All right, here we go. Up here to the top right-hand side is the red Protoss player, playing for Yowie Flash Wolves. 2 simple strategies, 2 simple wins. It's San. And his opponent has to make a change here. Down to the south side of merry-go-round is the blue Zerg player playing for Team Evil Geniuses. It's Jaedong.
Cannot lose this game.
Cannot. Now.
Absolutely not, Apollo. Otherwise, he is going home.
Yeah.
A very sad man.
And what a sad story he'd have to go home with as well.
It would be, well, he'd be going to San Jose with a sad story.
Well, he'd be going to San Jose with a sad story. And maybe friends or whoever asked him, so how did Dreamhack go? Well, you know, I got to this level of the tournament and I lost to this guy 3 times in a row with the same thing I couldn't defend.
That would be a bad way to go.
All right, Jaedong's going to open up here with a hatchery first. He switched up from game 1 hatchery first, game 2 to the spawn and pull first, game 3 back over to the hatchery first here. We'll see if he tries to open up 3 hatch here, but we do see San on the other side of things changing it up himself. Staying away from the gateway expands and deciding to go for a Nexus first.
Okay, I like this mix-up from San. Getting a little bit more greed early on, can go for a much stronger kind of mid-game with a little bit of a more powerful economy. And we'll have to wait and see if San is actually going to go for 3 base, or is he going to commit to a 2 base timing, which I kind of get the impression he will do. It seems to be his style, and it seems to be what Jaedong has so much trouble against. Jaedong going for a gas before pull here, so he wants to get Zerglings very, very quickly, around 6 minutes, so he can take map control, completely shut down anything that's on the map, and cancel a 3rd base if he desires.
Well, Pro pokes in here for San, seeing that gas has been taken early, and then going to back out from this position. What are some of the more common follow-ups here for San, do you think, that you run into often from a Nexus first here? What does this power you up to potentially do?
Well, I mean, San is playing in a kind of unusual way. Quite often, even on this map, you will see a Stargate. It can help out a lot going Oracle, and it can help you try and secure a 3rd base, though it is so hard on this map because every base on the lower ground here, outside the natural, is so open and so vulnerable to surrounds from all sides.
Well, Jaedong, who hasn't got any information in this game, you think that he's taken the approach to get the Zergling speed early, just to be like, all right, I'm controlling it. I'm controlling the early game from the 6-minute mark. It's mine.
Yep.
You move out, you're dead.
Well, he wouldn't be dead, but
well, you know what I mean.
He shouldn't be dead. But
the Probe and Zealot would be dead.
The Probe and Zealot, and then maybe the Stalker will be dead. But yeah, I think it's a good change from what Jaedong has been doing so far, because obviously he is dying in the early game to these silly aggression with these pylons around the map. Get circling speed early, take the map, just take complete control of it. And from there, you can play out the rest of the game. Maybe in a better mid-game, maybe Jaedong can actually macro a little bit before he has to deal with any sort of aggression.
Well, to the top left-hand side here, a Probe has snuck out. And the Overlord just slightly right to it, did see it. And Jaedong, I was watching through his vision, saw it as well. So he's going to be in hot pursuit of that Probe, not allowing any easy pylons to be built. And he's there waiting. Zerglin there, tracks it straight away. Nice and easy catch. Yeah,
very important catch, actually. It's going to really stop any sort of proxy pylons going down, any sort of aggression. But hang on a second, the Zerglin ended up running away from it.
So just lost him.
Yeah, the Probe lives, and the threat of a pylon on the map, a threat of another all-in can happen. Oh, but a Robo here, okay.
So tech choice has been thrown down. Robotics facility over Stargate, and of course over any other gateways here. And this is going to be important information for Jaedong to pick up here. I mean, knowing and not knowing is huge upon a robotics facility. And why, Moonglade? Why is it?
Why is it a Robo? That's a great question, Apollo.
Well, why is it so important for Jaedong to see this?
Well,
or not see it in this regard?
It is very important, so he knows exactly how to react to it. I mean, it could be a Warp Prism, it could be an Immortal. And I mean, I wouldn't put it past Sand considering how he has played so far. And we do see a Sentry kind of zone out an Overlord in the main base. He doesn't want to let any scouting in.
Yeah.
And we only see 2 gases so far as well. So I'm very, very interested to see what we're going to see out of this Robo.
Well, through Jaedong's vision, I mean, he sees extra gateways being added on, but quite late gases on the natural here. Well, so I'm pretty sure he's a little bit worried. He's thrown in Spine Crawlies. He lost the Probe as well, remember?
Yeah, well, you know what? The one thing that he does see also is that there is gases at the natural, which is going to be a change from the last 2 games. He's like, okay, you're going for a different kind of tech here. You're not going to be going for that 5-gate all-in.
All right.
And it's going to be an Immortal. It's going to be a Warp Prism with Sentries into Immortal all-in. So that is the choice of Sand for this game. Another 2-base timing. Not a bad choice in this map because it is a very, very hard map for Protoss to kind of go macro on.
The Warp Prism has been spotted here by an Overlord just outside the main base.
Oh, very important here.
2 spines are finished. Jaedong chose a fast layer, and through that is going to place a Spire on the other side of the map here through an Overlord spreading creep.
Okay.
16 Zerglings on the way here.
I kind of like the Spire, but it's going to be how quickly can it be up before this Immortal comes as well. That's the scariest thing of all.
And Probe has been found finally and will go down, so no pylon on the left-hand side of the map. All nice slowing tactics here.
Very, very nice. And, you know, these sentries have not found anything, but one thing it did do is scout the gases on the 3rd base. He saw another one building, so he's like, huh, you could be going for Hydras, you can be going for Mutas. I should probably make a move on the map.
Yeah, but the Spire's not very far away from finishing now, just 40 seconds. And there's no anti-air at all. There's sentries, of course, that can do a little bit of damage here. He does obviously have the capability warping Stalkers, but imagine if the Warp Prism got sniped or something along the lines with the Mulus that come out immediately here. Jaedong's going to take a fight in the middle, loses a couple of Zerglings here. Spire almost done. This information is still kept away from Sand. Is it going to work? Will this be enough, this Spire play?
I think it might be just a little too late here. It's going to be finished by the time the Immortals hit the 3rd base.
Yeah, Jaedong's sacrificing it. He's building spines on the 2nd.
Yeah, he's going to have to get rid of it. And you know what? I think that's a good move. He can still go 2-base Muta against this, but all Sand is going to have to do is identify and make Stalkers, and maybe he can follow this up with a finishing all-in. But for now, it looks like Sand is going to try and maximize the damage he can do. That's actually a lot of sentries, enough to kind of fight Mutas for a little while.
Spine's finishing up here. Sand's going to march up the ramp. Zerglings are going to come from behind here, but the Mulus are not quite ready. 4 Queens come to the defense. The Mulus pop out now, and Sand finally identifies what's going on. And Jaedong going to start to try to target down these Guardian Shields, or the sentries for the Guardian Shields. Hallucinated Stalkers do warp in. Is Jaedong going to make the defense? These Spine Crawlers are finishing very fast, and Sand is crushing through this.
He is crushing through this. At the same time, though, the Mutas are cleaning up all the anti-air. Looks like the Natural is going to take a lot of damage. The Immortals are targeting it, actually, but the Mutas are targeting down the Immortals at the same time. So many Zealots still left over here, and the economy, at the very least of Jaedong, has been destroyed.
But there's not enough Stalkers right now, though. A couple of them are getting picked off. The hatchery goes down. Jaedong will defend, but he loses his economy. He loses this Natural. 2 bases.
2 bases, and at the same time, 2 Stargate go down in the Natural here. The perfect counter to Mutas, but can he get them up in time? We see Stalkers being warped in. He needs a little bit more before he can actually fight this many Mutalisks.
Yeah, this looks like San's just going to sit down, buckle tight on 2 bases, defend with Stalkers. He's got a Guardian Shield available as well.
This is do or die for Jaedong. He has to make it happen now or he will lose the game.
Photon Overcharge activated. Phoenix is on the way here. This is not good for Jaedong. San just has to hold on. Jaedong's going for it right now, right here on this second base. But with the Photon Overcharge, additional Stalkers, the Phoenix is about to pop out. This is just looking like a sorry story here for Jaedong today, as he's not able to keep up with San. He's trying to bring these units down. Zerglings do flood in. Phoenix is popping out. He uses an Overseer to slow down the production of these Phoenixes.
Yeah.
But there is so little production for Jaedong off just a single hatchery.
Yeah, it just isn't enough. And I mean, thank God he saved that Mothership core so he can do 2 Photon Overcharges in his main and natural. That saved him so much economy. It kind of saved his life as well. And with this many Phoenix coming out here, so long as he micros them correctly, he should be able to clean up the rest of these Mutalisks.
6 more Zerglings coming across the other side of the map. Jaedong trying to replenish his second base. San, for the first time in this game, he's going to fall behind in supply. And Jaedong keeps these Mutalisks. He's still trying his best. Remember, if he messes this up, if he doesn't kill San or slow him down dramatically, Jaedong is going to be eliminated. He's killed off a lot of these Phoenixes, but the Mutalisk count finally is starting to wear down here. Just 5 remain as San starts to stabilize.
As this is all happening, we did see Jaedong put a hatchery down at the natural and the third base. So, you know, Jaedong kind of trying to make a transition here. He doesn't want to end it on a complete all-in from 1 base, but it's going to be so hard to make a tech switch because he's making a Hydro Den, and he kind of wants to go that direction. I completely understand that because there's no way you're going to make enough Muta and Corrupted to deal with that many Stargate units.
Well, Jaedong did manage to pick off about 11 probes throughout that Moonglade, so he has slowed down San a little bit here, and through that time has been able to pick up his second base again, and now he's rebuilding that third.
But you know what? I think we could see San simply just mass Phoenix and kill the Hydra. That's how poor Jaedong's economy is at this point.
And the Warp Prism is actually swinging around inside the main base here, so Jaedong's going to have to deal with that. Hydras may pop at the convenient time here to help defend this.
Yeah, they might indeed, but at the same time, we're seeing Zelts warp in, and the Phoenix are going to help out this so much. They're going to pick up these Hydras and make this pretty one-sided battle in the main base of Jaedong.
Absolutely here. Great play here from San. Nice set of warp-ins, and the Phoenix, as you pointed out, crucial in this forward aggression here. Spore Crawler has finished up to help the defense, but the Phoenixes are just outweighing Jaedong here, and unfortunately, Jaedong, who entered this series feeling confident, as he said this mix on stage, has just been completely smashed out of this tournament as San makes a 3-0, makes this look incredibly easy. Jaedong half the supply, and with continued warp-ins now of Sentries, he can control the main base, control the ramp, and pick off the lair. Everything else inside, GG is called. San takes a very quick 3-0.
That was insanely quick. That was even quicker than the Hero Tasia games. I didn't think that would be possible, but, you know, very well played from San, very aggressive, and this is exactly what we know about San. He loves to play that aggressive style of Zerg, and he's so good at it. So good at it.
Absolutely fantastic. Really good play there from San, displaying his favorite and most dominant matchup in style there. And he will move on to the next round to face off against Tasia in a couple of hours' time here. That's going to be a very difficult challenge, of course, the 5-time StarCraft champion here at Dreamhack. Congratulations to San. In control, and Nathanius will be joining us in a couple of seconds here. I hope you guys had time to watch that. I don't know if you'd popped to the bathroom or maybe got some food because you might have missed it, but I hope you did watch it. Hello and welcome back.
Saw a fair bit of it.
Also a beatdown, that match. Unfortunately, the last 2 rounds were fairly anticlimactic. Obviously, I'm a big Jaedong fan, and I want to see him win. But as a secondary thing, I want to see good games. And unfortunately, that just wasn't it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jaedong wasn't prepared for San's style, if he didn't know how he plays. Artos was in the back, and it felt like he was kind of directing San. He's like, and then he'll do the Zeld Sentry again, and then he does the Immortal push, and then he just kind of does that every single time. And if San's known for that, Jaedong didn't make it look like he knew about that.
He had no idea, it seemed, and he should have probably had that Roach run just a little bit early in both the first 2 games there, and with Game 3, it was just a little bit messy. Yeah, he should have really been ready for that as well. I mean, it really just came down to being ready for what was coming, and he wasn't.
It was an ugly series. San just, killed him pretty quickly. It wasn't anything super drawn out, and a lot of his just sharp attacks from Protoss, the kind of stuff that makes up Zerg nightmares.
Indeed.
That's San's style, and again, Jaedong is out, San is up. He'll be facing Tasia later, as Apollo said, which should be hopefully a better match than the 2 setup matches for that. But I believe Smix is ready to pick the brain of certain San.
All right, thank you very much, In Control. Congratulations, San, on your very convincing 3-0 victory over Jaedong. My first question to you, when the camera panned over to your face, you actually didn't seem particularly happy despite the fact that you had just won 3-0. Why is that?
이제 표정이 이겼는데도 그렇게 좋진 않았거든요. 그래서 표정이 왜 그랬어요?
어제 좀 잠을 많이 못 잤어요. 한 3시간밖에 못 자가지고 좀 약간 피곤해서 표정이 좀 안 좋았던 것 같아요.
So he says, honestly, it's because I'm really tired. Last night, I only slept around 3 hours, so I spent all day super tired, and I think that's why my expression didn't look all that great, despite my win over Jaedong. San, in PvZ, you're obviously very good at it. You tend to use that aggressive Zealot build as well as the Immortal push quite often. Is that because you prefer not going into the late game, or why do you choose to go for those builds so much?
그 전략들 왜 그렇게 항상 장기전 가기 싫은 건지.
그게 제가 한 1년 동안 써가지고 저는 완전 장인이라서 상대가 방어를 해도 뚫을 수 있다는 자신감이 있고, 그리고 어제 제가 그 전략을 쓰다가 승은이한테 막혔는데 한국 커뮤니티를 보니까 강추원을 진짜 고집이 쩐다고 막, 그래서 오늘 약간 좀 오기가 생겼던 것 같아요. 이걸로 내가 꼭 이긴다, 그런 오기가 생겨서 오늘 또 사용하게 됐어요.
So San says, this is actually a strategy that I've used for a year now, and it's gotten to the point where I'm so confident with it that I feel like even if my opponent tries his hardest to defend, I will always be able to make it work. And I actually used this strategy against Life yesterday, and Life was able to defend. And so I looked online on the Korean community websites, and there were comments that said that I'm a little too stubborn, that I shouldn't have been so stubborn, and that made me a little angry. That made me want to prove them wrong, to show them that I can do well with this strategy, and that's why I used it again here, and I proved them wrong, so I'm quite happy about that. Now, last but not least, San, you're going up against Tasia, who is your very, very close friend, first of all. But unfortunately, he is Tasia. He's very, very difficult, and you did lose to him yesterday. So what are your thoughts on that potential matchup, future matchup, rather?
그 영상 친하기도 한데.
아까 그 경기하기 전에 화장실 가다가 영서가 한 인터뷰를 들었는데 막 제동이 형이나 제가 막 쉽다고 하더라고요. 근데 솔직히 쉬울 수밖에 없어요. 지금 영서가 좀 약간 자기 종족을 믿고 도발하는 것 같은데 한 1년 전만 하더라도 진짜 조용히 있었거든요. 지금 그냥 자기 종족을 너무 믿는 것 같은데 그냥 저는 이 험난한 시기가 그냥 빨리 끝나기를 그냥 기다리는 것밖에 없는 것 같아요.
사기라는 뜻이에요.
Okay, so he says earlier when I was on my way to the bathroom, I was on my way and I heard Tasia doing his winner's match after he won against Hero, and I heard him say that he doesn't care who he faced, Jaedong or me, and because we're both easy opponents. And I guess honestly he can't help but say that because he's just really confident, because honestly I think he's just believing in his race, his Terran race. So I actually asked him for clarification. I said, are you saying that Terran's imbalanced? And he said, yeah. And so he says, it's funny because a year ago, he was really quiet. He didn't speak out that much, but now he's super confident. So I'm just waiting for this period of Terran dominance to end, this imbalance. And yeah, so I guess we'll see what happens in that matchup. But congratulations again, San, on your victory over Jaedong. We're going to go to a commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have a rematch from the Dreamhack Open Moscow finals between Jakji and MMA, so stay tuned.